And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Frank Tomaino is our guest. Frank continues, after all these years, to write his history column for the Observer-Dispatch. Thank goodness he does that, because it gives us a lot of great history to read about every week, and he's also author of history just for the fun of it. On the busy corner, and the building, well, right next to the busy corner would be on the southeast corner of the busy corner. There was a movie theater that was there too early for me to get into.
Yeah, too early for me too, but I, read about it. The Alhambra.
Yeah.
The Alhambra Theatre, a very, very popular theater. First run silent movies. Never talkies. So.
And that building is still there.
It's still there. I believe it's the Lux building. You look on the top, I think you still. Later on the ground floor, there was Grant's department store was there. So that block was a very popular block. The Home Dairy Luncheonette. Every noon the place was packed. So there were quite a few Endicott Johnson shoes.
And a place that I know, you used to go to every morning on the way into the newspaper was Ball's Card Shop.
Oh, Ball's Card Shop, yeah. Ball's Card Shop was, it was kitty corner on Lafayette between Seneca and Genesee Street. Very, very popular place. Sold a lot of daily presses, the Utica morning paper. Many men and women working at Griffiths Air Force Base, any place in Rome or Oriskany, would drive along, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning and pick up the daily press before going to work.
And they had a lot of Balls had a lot of out-of-town newspapers.
Yeah, you're right. Washington papers. A couple of them, they'd be a day late, like the Washington Post, but the Albany Times-Union, Rochester. Mainly, I don't think Ball's was open at night, so mainly in the morning, those morning papers. And in those days, that's where you got your baseball scores and.
And the other person that was selling a lot of newspapers downtown was Helen Hoffman.
Helen Hoffman, yeah. She was a block up on right on the side of the bank, Columbia, and Helen sold quite a few. And again, early in the morning, you see, cars pull up and she'd throw the paper and they would throw. I remember I sold papers, believe it or not, on the busy corner, and I forget how much. I don't know what the paper was, 4 cents or something like that. They give you a nickel and you get a penny tip. Yeah.
Getting back to theaters, we mentioned the Highland Theatre just in passing. That building still stands.
Yeah, that's still it was a gym for a while, and that building. But the Lincoln is gone. The James, I believe, that building.
The Senior Citizen Center or something like that.
It was a Senior Citizen Center. I don't believe it is anymore. The Lincoln is gone. I'm trying to. The Orpheum on South Street, that's gone. The Oneida is gone, of course. Of course, the Uptown is still staying, and thank God the Stanley.
The North Utica never had.
North Utica, well, other than the shopping centers when they had, but never had a theater as far as. Of course, you didn't have that many
people down
in
there.
those days, but after the war, when North Utica started to grow, never, as far as I know, I don't remember a movie. And even the North Utica Shopping Center that opened before Riverside Mall, the North Utica Shopping Center never had a movie theater.
But what North Utica did have, and nobody else in the city at that time had, was a ball field.
A what?
A ball field, a baseball field.
McConnell Field on North Genesee Street, boy. Well, with the baseball season, just around the corner, when I was growing up, the old Utica Braves played there.
Was that the first pro team that Utica had, Frank?
Well, no, I think they had pro teams. I never have done much research. Scott Feistemel has written wrote a couple of books about the old 19th century teams. But In 1939, the Utica Braves and the Rome Colonels joined the Canadian American League. And it was Class D, which was pretty low. And Utica played in 39, 40, 41, and 42. And then in 43, the Springfield Rifles of the International League, don't tell me how I remember all this stuff, bought the Utica Braves and put it in the Eastern League, which was a Class A league, pretty good league. But Utica had to have, it was the worst team in the history of baseball. I think they had 25 wins and 125 losses, but they played at McConnell Field and drew kind of big crowds.
And McConnell Field, Frank, was about where the on-ramp is for the thruway, correct?
Exactly, yeah, we're,
Red Roof Inn?
yeah, right. It was across from the old Howard Johnson's, but it was in, it wasn't right on Genesee Street. It was, I don't know, a couple hundred feet in. But not only baseball, you had football, boxing matches there. But the Utica Braves, if you want to continue talking about, in 1943, the Philadelphia Phillies bought the Utica Braves. And the season began, and then in late May, somebody in the Philadelphia organization said, wait a minute, we own the Utica Braves, but the Boston Braves were in the National League at that time. Said, we got to change the name. Everybody thinks the Boston Braves own the Utica Braves. So they changed it to the Utica Blue Sox. And this is in May 1944. You know.
And there was, we got to go to break now, but there was a famous, more than one famous player that played for that team, and I'm thinking Richie Ashburn.
Richie Ashburn, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And many more, not Hall of Famers, but many more, well, good ball players. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Frank Tomaino's our guest. We're talking local history. Short break. Right back.